going on, Joe?
I told you on the phone, I'm sorry.
You told me nothing on the phone beyond the fact that you got home safely last night, which was quite a relief, seeing we hung about Carlton Hill for an hour thinking maybe you'd been picked off by armed criminals.
The gun was a shock to me, too. I've been naive.
You can say that again. What was the stunt? You got the great protector of public morals lined up with a sleaze king. How?
Does it matter how?
It matters to me. I'm supposed to be preparing your case for the inquiry, not to mention the trial. I'm supposed to be in possession of all the relevant facts. Who were they shouting for? Who's Paul Ackroyd?
All right. Sit down. Don't use that name again. And don't be tempted to question any other member of my staff about him, not even your mother.
All right, if we're lurching into medical ethics again, I don't want to compromise you.
Then don't. We achieved what we set out to do. As a matter of interest, how did you avoid being picked off?
By crawling under a bush and giving a passable imitation of coitus interruptus with your prospective counsel.
It could have been worse. She's a good-looking girl.
It couldn't have been worse, personally or professionally.
We took a risk.
Look, I've only got your word for what was going on last night.
And it paid off. I said you'd have to trust me.
And you're going to have to trust me. I'm going to be asking around. I may get to something you don't want to tell me.
God, I hate these places. Heat brings me out in a rush.
Spoil your TV image, eh? Ackroyd.
I don't know. I only met him the one time with you.
So why did you go up Carlton Hill after him then?
Why, I told you, man, I got a letter.
You didn't show it to me.
Well, you know, I didn't think it was that important.
Shit. It was an offer.
No. Look, I was just going to go up there, listen to what he had to say, and report back. What's he got to offer anyway?
Nothing. Ackroyd is nothing. When I get him, he'll know it. And anyone tied up well. You stick to what you're paid for.
Well, I just thought, you
You're
know...
past thinking, Veach. You're too old.
But you got a letter. Why did you go up there?
The trial's coming up. Did you go with the lawyer?
Aye. They've put this guy Walsh onto me. He's coming into court. He's allowed in. They say it could have a bearing on the inquiry. I'm bloody scared I'll tell him too much.
Look, he'll sort you out.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's been sorted out himself, Walsh. By me. The big lawyer gets off when Jim slips.
How did you get these?
Joe Sangster made the arrangements.
What arrangements?
He's cagey about his methods. They're evidence. Veach has contact with a well-known pimp.
Who knows him? Can I see a record?
The police know him. They've just never been able to pin anything on him.
No record. It's my feeling the Procurator Fiscal won't accept these. They're irrelevant to the charge.
Fine. Then the fiscal's not obliged to show them to the opposition. We'll produce them anyway. Shock tactics.
You'll need more than these to affect Veach's hearing at the inquiry, and that is the important case. I've got a meeting in 10 minutes.
I know, the great decider. The panic reading's gone off the scale in the office.
There's nothing for anyone to fear in the immediate future.
Now, how about long term?
Don't worry. You'll finish your contract.
I wasn't thinking about myself for once. You know what a practice this size should do? Increase the criminal work till that's all it does.
We're in Scotland, Greg, and crime is largely the prerogative of the big boys in Glasgow.
Ready?
Coming.
You've got one. Friggin' shift workers.
This is the position. It's bad. Paying out 2 retiring partners may well take us into overdraft, at least for a period in the first year, depending on how much work the rest of us can bring in.
I never thought to hear the word overdraft spoken here.
I can't comment.
Standard practice, Viv. Only partners see the balance sheet.
We're in trouble. Even if we maintain business at the present level, which, according to your report, we're unlikely to do. Excellent report, by the way.
Thanks.
If a little negative.
Negative?
You state the problem. You don't construct a solution.
I didn't know a solution was expected. You made a suggestion, a client circular, follow-up work.
A suggestion, exactly. I was hoping you'd work it into a strategy. We need more suggestions, more imagination, more commitment.
My commitment's been total for 25 years.
Yes, Archie, I'm grateful. But I'm going to have to ask you to do more, temporarily. Now, I've been looking through these family trusts. I don't know when they were last brought up to date.
I do. It's when I was allowed time off from playing dog's body to a couple of partners who happened to go senile on the job.
That's in the past. We have a chance now for a major reorganization. No more family trusts. They don't pay. We bring the existing backlog up to date quickly by taking on a section each.
Seems fair.
Seems fair if you're on a share of the profits.
We keep coming back to your status, Viv. So let's talk about it. As far as a partnership's concerned, you haven't a hope unless you go all out to find new clients.
All out? Where exactly? On the streets like McDowell. He drew expenses for a hire car this morning and I'm saving on postage.
Mrs. Tate.
I hate this. It feels like a conflict of loyalties.
All right, fair enough. Just introduce me. I won't involve you again.
Oh, Mrs. Tate, how are you? I was hoping I'd see you back at the health centre.
Why to be back there? It's all finished. I'm fine.
Now, this is my son, Greg. He's a lawyer. He wants to help.
I've written to you, actually, Mrs. Tate. I've tried calling you. Do you just give me 2 minutes?
I'm no speaking to lawyers. I've said everything.
You left Julie the afternoon she died, right? Though you told the doctor she'd be watched 24 hours a day when she was coming off the needle, and you'd left her before.
Who said I left her? You try it. 24 hours a day. Bloody doctor, he once shifted me.
No, listen. You left her because you trusted her, didn't you? She was serious this time. She was winning.
Look, just go away.
She was winning. She was clean. She got tested days before.
Do that. They're cunning. You believe them and they shit all over you. Ask anyone who's been through it. Ask the police.
Never mind the police. I think you were right to believe Julie. Tell me about your son, Dominic, and the phone call.
No. I wouldn't have left her, only she made me. The guy on the phone said he was in trouble, Dominic. Outside the anchor. He was nearly through his probation.
So you went to sort him out? Was he in trouble?
No, he wasn't.
See, when Julie was on the street, who was running her?
Don't you say on the street to me. That's what they all say. On the street. As though she didn't matter. I'm getting out from round here. I'm getting rehoused. I've got 4 other kids. For God's sake, leave us alone.
Remind me never to watch you in action again.
You put her in court, no one would believe it was an accident.
Forget it. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. What was that about her being rehoused?
Any further comments before we wind up?
It falls to me to deepen the gloom, I'm afraid. The new office is down the road. There's a suite reserved for a branch of the London Law Consortium. The rival hordes are descending.
Is that official?
They're already starting to recruit for specialists in Scots law. We could find ourselves competing with the same people, staff and clients.
Let's regard that as a challenge. Well, not everyone wants to work for a large organization. We must develop services that only we can offer. Okay? Well, thank you.
She was murdered. Her mother practically said so. She's getting a house and God knows what else to keep her mouth shut. Threats too, probably.
You vegetarian?
No?
Yeah.
I don't eat prawns.
You have the cheese then.
What's the tourist luncheon aid of?
Sorry. I just don't want to be seen with you at the moment. At least not around court is what I mean.
I don't particularly want to be seen with you anywhere. Just I thought you should know about Mrs. Tate. And?
And?
Last night, I suppose you're okay?
That's my question. I was the one who assaulted your honor.
No, well, just as well. Otherwise, they'd probably be combing Carlton Hill for the bodies. I thought the guy who tripped over us would never move off.
He was quite polite. He even replaced the bushes.
Yeah? I didn't notice.
Well, you don't notice much from the missionary position, do you? Still, all in a good cause. I mean, we got the photographs.
Yeah, now we get the people. Why don't you want to be seen with me around court?
I turned down the Brussels job because of this case. That's against the rules, so I'm just letting the dust settle. And there's some personal stuff as well, but I don't want to go into it.
You mean you don't want it to get back to David Strachan yet? The great marmalade legislator? Your personal stuff's office property like everyone else's, only I don't give a toss. I hate tourist attractions. They make the whole place feel dead.
You came back here. Why didn't you try to enjoy it?
I've ordered something wholesome. And champagne.
Are we celebrating?
It's a tonic.
I'm not ill, Campbell. You'll stop ringing the office to find out how I feel.
I'm concerned. I'm more concerned than I would have thought possible. One takes old friends so much for granted.
Go on taking me for granted. I'll be around a long time.
I hope we can spend more of it together.
That's a kind thought. I could do with kind thoughts at the moment. It's been a bruising day so far.
Describe the bruises.
I used to be popular. Now everyone's wary of me, even Archie. Thank God I can relax over lunch and sip champagne and give a couple of our legal friends something to snort about.
I hope they think the worst.
They will.
I mean it. I wish it were true. For Catherine, it's a discovery for me. Realizing that I've begun to thaw out. I never thought I would after Jane left me. I'm grateful.
Has Joss thought out?
We don't talk about it. But now I might. I'll let him get his sailing exercise over first. It's making him nervous. I sentenced a man this morning whose parting shot was that all lawyers are intellectually, psychologically, and sexually inadequate. Or words to that effect.
Guilty as charged.
Mr. Crichton, Mr. Garfield.
Correct. London Law Consortium.
on then. You're quite attractive. No acne. It's a change.
Let's do without the soundtrack, shall we? Where do you usually go?
Depends. It's not a backseat job, is it? A marqueasy. Oh, don't tell me I got lucky and you booked into a room at the plaza.
Take me where Julie went.
Who's Julie?
She died.
Oh, you want to forget Julie? You one of her regulars? I do everything she did. I do some things better.
You're full of the same stuff anyway. How did she die?
Why don't you read the papers?
I did. I didn't believe a word.
Oh, Christ, I'm getting out of here. You bastard!
We'll come back to Julie. Talk about Ackroyd.
Ackroyd? He went to school?
Went to school.
I don't know. Some big school, he was a coach or something, he went away.
Where?
I don't know. Jesus, what's going on? Yeah, well, you know the police, because we've got an arrangement. Well, listen, didn't I see you with the doctor?
Dr. Sangster.
I want to meet him. Can you fix it? No one's got to know, and you're getting nothing back.
A couple of
I
questions.
said nothing.
I can fix it.
They're close at the back of Ermine Street, tell him. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock. You're not wanting a session, are you?
No.
I'll have to take the money anyway. And just let me out here, please. But no one's going to know, are they? Only the doctor.
Family being rehoused.
It's none of your business.
I'll make it my business. There's clients of mine got priority over the Tates.
Is that what you call them? Clients?
And what would you call them? Riff-raff? Like your friend Veach?
He's no friend of mine.
What are you pushing his case for him then? I'll put it another way. You didn't move your arse the other night to control his supporters.
We all know you, Nancy. You're an old-fashioned red from way back. Your heart's in the right place, but you're marginal these days.
Is that right?
The Tates are being moved because of the stress they've been under. It's compassionate grounds.
You used to know what compassion was.
late. Thanks for coming anyway. What do you want, Sam?
Listen, Sam, McDowell, not old pals. A wee coffee, please.
What have you got?
I've got a message. Get off the case.
Is that from Chief Inspector Ross or the Julie Take fan club?
You'll go nowhere out of this. Worse than nowhere. You'll go right down the tubes.
That big? Talk about Veach.
It won't do you any good.
I'll decide.
He's a con man. Nothing spectacular, but he's pulled off a few things. Diverting car park takings in Newcastle. Implicated in a cheque fraud down south. He got off on that.
So how'd he raise the money for the Jet Homes tender? He must have looked good on paper.
That's all.
I saw Mrs. Tate crying this morning. Pathetic, really. You'd have been upset.
You want anything else, don't come to me, okay?
You wouldn't by any chance have a promotion board in the offing, would you?
Miss Abercorn as ever was, shining like a good deed in a naughty world.
Mr. Lennox.
It is a naughty world, isn't it? Yes, they do themselves proud, the legal profession. Just been lunching at my club. Found myself sitting next to an acquaintance in the justiciary. We talked of you. Briefly, in the way elderly men will talk about attractive young women now beyond their facility. What they call sexist. Neither I nor my friend could believe that any alternative you might have been offered could have quite the same cachet.
I don't want to specialize too early.
You're just beginning. Time enough to display your versatility. I have a report to prepare. Unfortunately, I have to name names. And when names are named, there is an indelible record.
I think I know what you're saying.
Mr. Strachan and the advance party leave for Brussels tomorrow. Why not take until then to reconsider? Stewart, my dear chap. I haven't seen you in years. Have you made my coffee?
Oh, certainly. Night.
Viv. Your section of the trust work, as agreed.
Not wasting any time, are we?
We can't afford to. Suppose a client asked for a meeting and saw the state these documents are in. There'd be hell to pay.
Do what my usual homework is.
You should get help at home.
I would, if I could pay for it.
Economize. Don't eat lunch in the Sellers restaurant.
Surely it's my business where I have my lunch. You were there, I take it? It was a treat for me. 2 old friends from university days.
Good. We all need treats, don't we? See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Never kept your last appointment.
I couldn't get out. There was a row. I lost my free time.
How did you go tonight, then?
I'm on my way to this place for the handicapped. But I have to do charity work. It's a penalty.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? See, you're a good boy in future. But I'll have to tell your dad. Hold on. It's a reward, Josie.
I don't use it.
It's not what I heard. Spread it around then. Make yourself a bit on the side. Give the handicapped an out-of-body experience.
Actually, I prefer a girl.
All right, actually. See what I can do.
It's obvious they're running out of supplies. That means we're in for another wave of heroin, if they can get it. Where would it come from?
I don't know. I've never touched heroin. Listen, you have got to help me disappear.
It's under control. When you're through the treatment, I can arrange for you to convalesce somewhere else.
If they don't find me first.
Do you want to tell me what they've got on you?
Nothing. They think they have. Milligan does. But I didn't see.
Didn't see what?
I wasn't in anything big. They kept me supplied with my stuff, and I pushed the rest. There was always some dope on the go as well. I sold that to the kids at the school. But that's all.
Who do they think you saw?
I crashed a meeting one night at Milligan's flat. I was out of line. A guy was hustled into another room fast.
The guy who puts up the money?
I keep saying I no idea who he was. And after, I was told that they were after me. It was just when I was starting to feel bad.
Then you came to me.
Listen, I'm grateful.
I don't need gratitude. I need information.
I'm sorry.
I want you to think and feed me anything that might be useful, because I'm going to nail Milligan and Veach and whoever's behind them. If you can't contact me, and it's urgent, call this man, Greg McDowell. You can trust me.
I'm sorry about this, Greg.
Don't worry. It's dark. We can't be seen together.
No, I tried to call you at the office.
I wanted to talk to you anyway. I met a terrified hooker this afternoon, and I've got Veach pinned to a record.
Don't say anything else until you've heard what I have to say.
You better come up.
Can I help you?
No, Pet, I'm just going.
You screwed up with the Scottish office, so what?
Lennox is filing a report. I'll be named.
You'll never work for a government department again, that's all. It's no loss.
I was hoping to keep my options open.
You were hoping not to give offence, and that's a killer. You believe in Joe's case, you take the risk.
It has to be worth the risk.
What do you want? A written guarantee? The girl, Andrea, this afternoon, she'll talk to Joe.
And then he'll decide how much he's prepared to pass on. I can fight the case. I can't fight the client or the police.
You can. You've got to. That's what makes it important.
Lawyers who go for the police have a hard time.
Okay, you can forget this year's Miss Bar Association.
You don't understand. My father was seen off by the legal establishment. He hasn't set foot in Edinburgh since.
I know about your old man and his drunken driving antics. Everyone does. I'm not interested. It's made you want to show them, hasn't it? It's made you want to stay in the club and be just a little bit daring. You can't. Oh, forget it. There are other advocates.
You didn't want me in the first place anyway.
I don't want to go to the trouble of instructing someone else now. I'll need to know in the morning. First thing.
Okay. I'll sleep on it. Do you live alone?
Yeah.
Why isn't she with you?
Her husband wouldn't like it.
Does she live in London? Is that why you came back here?
Look, I've got personal stuff too. Let's keep it all out the way, okay? Call me first thing.
Thanks, John. Sorry about this. Got some extra work to do. I need to check some references.
Be all on your own up there.
Miss Dunbar's left, I suppose.
I've only been on half an hour, but everything was dark when I last looked in.
Hello, John? Get an ambulance quickly. It's Miss Dunbar. She's still here. She seems to have collapsed.
Okay, Mrs. Little.
Catherine? What happened?
latest?
The doctors say it's exhaustion and an ulcer. It could have been worse. She was due for some tests. I didn't even know. Lately it's just been me. I'm going ahead with the case.
Did you talk to him?
No. Sat by her bed last night and decided it was time I stood on my own 2 feet.
You won't regret this. She gave me a chance. If we get this right, I'll be able to give her something back. It'll mean going in a bit harder.
I know.
Nasty things, ulcers. Related to stress.
Expect we'll all have them by the time we're solvent.
Spoken like a true heroine.
I'm not a heroine. Just happened to be on hand at the time.
Remarkable coincidence your being here. I suppose ultimately we have to thank our clients.
Our clients?
The clients with the business that brought you back to the office after hours.
I told you. I needed to check some references.
Rather exceeding the call of duty to check them at dead of night.
It wasn't dead of night. It was 10 o'clock. Anyway, I thought we were all being expected to exceed the call of duty. It's Vivian Liddell. I'm sorry, there's been a hitch.
Do you know what I am, really? I'm relieved.
Relieved?
I knew something was wrong. I worked hard, tried to ignore it because I was afraid it was something more serious.
You overworked.
Yes. Well, it turned out to be nothing compared with what I'd imagined.
In my experience, imagining the worst goes with living alone.
You live with Joss.
Weekends. Well, some weekends, part of the holidays. Not even that soon if he gets his way and leaves Dundonald's.
Does he want to? Where would he go?
America. Boston. There's a school that offers an advanced sailing course. I couldn't stand in his way.
But you wish you could.
No, not exactly. What I wish for is a new focus in my life, apart from work. Don't you?
Sometimes.
The other night, you said you regretted not having married.
Weak moment.
I had some weak moments myself when I heard the news about you.
You're a kind, sympathetic man.
No, it's simpler than that. I love you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk about it until you'd recovered. But tis ridiculous. I feel it's like being a boy again. I told you it was ridiculous.
I said at the beginning, I have to piece together what I'm told by the patients and rely on my instinct for the rest.
You convinced there'll be heroin coming in?
As convinced as I can be. I don't know where or how, but it's happened before.
Right. How do we use this?
We intercept the delivery. We corner those responsible.
With what?
And we get the inquiry called off. The clinic stays in business. And when I say responsible, I mean all of them. There's someone with money behind Veitch and Milligan. Someone with influence. It's no use, any of it, unless we get him as well.
Look, Joe, this is the big league.
I thought that's what you were interested in.
I just don't fancy getting my face shot off.
That may not be necessary. At some point, we'll hand over to the police when even they can't fail to act. The trouble is, it's going to happen soon.
So is your appearance on an assault charge. Had you forgotten?
No, I still want Veitch fractured in court. But this is a new lead. We've got to follow it.
Look, I can understand you wanting to fight the drugs war.
You're wrong. What I can't stand is the way these people are manipulated. I want the manipulators. Most of all, I want Julie's killer, the real killer, the one who paid.
You seen the girl tonight, Andrea?
Yes, but right now I've got to see a patient.
She's not a patient, is she?
That's all, Greg.
Okay, I'm going. But sooner or later, you're gonna have to level with me.
Greg, I want to talk to you.
What now?
No, not here. I've got a late session. I'll be home around 10.
All right, have the cocoa ready.
If all it takes is a cup of cocoa.
All it takes.
Sorry, I'm only your mother. It's just, I had this fantasy about you coming back to Edinburgh. I thought, maybe I'll see you now and again.
I've given up guilt. And I'm busy.
The what? Ackroyd. Where is it? You think? Well, I've told you about thinking of Veach. You follow the doctor. You're taking risks. Aye, well, it's not what you're paid for. Keep out of it. And don't call me again.
David, I came to say goodbye.
That wasn't necessary.
Look, I need to speak to you.
I'm sorry about Catherine.
She'll be fine. Look, I want to explain...
Yes, I know. You're doing the Sangster trial with McDowell.
I'm doing the Sangster trial because it excites me.
Does McDowell excite you?
No. Well, yes, professionally. I'm not interested in him otherwise.
I hope you know what you're rejecting.
Playing safe is what I'm rejecting.
Oh, yes, well, someone like McDowell might just get away with that. The bar can tolerate the odd, brilliant maverick. But Alex, you couldn't survive a minute's real disapproval.
Do you know what the worst thing about that is, David? You actually believe it. And you believe it because it's true of you. You're the one who couldn't survive a minute's disapproval. Good luck in Brussels.
Paul Ackroyd. When did you join the Living Dead? Been on detox 2 weeks. Never seen you, though.
Hey! Sam! Knocking off time after a hard day.
Detective Sergeant Coots to you. Now go and get yourself neutered.
Come on, I only want to be friends. You're going to need a friend.
Is that right?
You want your career stepped up. You want to be the youngest chief inspector on the payroll.
Look, I gave you the stuff on Beach. That's it. Finito.
No, it's much bigger than Beach now. It's about girls, isn't it? One of them told me yesterday they'd got an arrangement. You said Julie had probably been with half the top brass.
I said nothing.
The thing is, when this gets out, anyone who kept quiet over a cover-up is going to be in trouble, including you. Not bad trouble, necessarily. Maybe just enough to freeze promotion.
Okay, let's hear it. What's on offer?
There's drugs on offer. Heroin. You'll be the first to know. You can ride in, head of the cavalry, collect a citation.
Yeah? And what do you want back? A taped confession from the chief constable?
I want anything else you can give me. Anything on Veach and Milligan. But most of all, I want you to be ready to move when I say so.
It's the second door on the corridor off the main ward. When you find them, give them the message and come out fast.
Good night. How are you fixed for time in the counselling schedule?
Oh, come on. How are you fixed for National Health funding?
We were doing the Julie Tate business again from the beginning. How would you do it differently?
I wouldn't touch it. Okay. I would keep it even quieter than we did.
Me too, next time.
Next time?
I'll need to see you first thing in the morning. Good night.
Right.
I deplore ingratitude, especially in the young. This Brussels affair is set to proceed on oiled wheels. Now, I have to engage someone who will agree to mug up the documents at the last minute.
I don't suppose she meant to be ungrateful, and if this other case is
It's
more
a shabby
attractive...
little assault she can't possibly win.
According to the evening paper, there are wider implications.
Since when was the evening paper a reliable authority?
There's something else. A piece about Dundonald's and the sailing exercise with a photograph.
Who sanctioned that, I wonder? Cheap tabloid publicity. As if a great school like Dundonald's needs it. Yes, I shall raise it at the next old boys' meeting.
But you won't be there, darling. Remember?
There's no alternative. The offhand Miss Abercorn is up for a drubbing.
Listen, anyone seen us coming here, I'm dead meat.
Like Julie Tate. No one saw us.
Well, you said you wouldn't pressure me.
I won't.
Is this a bloody con?
What's wrong? You're not frightened of needles, are you?
I don't want to know. No, I didn't care.
This won't take a second. I'll have the result rushed through.
I didn't bother. You can tell just by looking at me, can't you?
No, and even if I could, I'd still have to do the test.
Oh, what the hell? I'm positive. You can do it like.
Well, then I could say, why not tell me everything? What have you got to lose? But I won't, because I don't want you thinking, even if you test positive, it's a death sentence. It isn't. You can be helped. The best thing you can do is be normal, for the time being. And if you must keep earning, make sure you take precautions.
Normal. What's normal? Oh, what can fix me?
Nice.
He used to be rock solid, Dougie Allen. His door was always open. Then he left his wife for some aerobics teacher about 20 years younger. His vote dropped, but he just managed to hang on to his seat. Suddenly, he's saying he wants a better deal for the community. He's in favor of development, and he gets himself onto the housing committee.
What happened to the aerobics teacher?
Oh, she's driving around in a Porsche. She's to make do with a BMW.
So he's getting a cut on development deals. Where's the proof?
Well, I don't know about proof. I do know that the Jet housing project was the fastest deal on record. Did you say that Veach had ready cash?
More or less. He had the usual banker's guarantees. Good solicitors.
So it's not his money?
Oh, I'm working on that. I can't get anything on it.
You know what's the first stage in the sale of council property? The council requests permission from the Scottish office.
A leak, you mean? From the inside? Which department?
It goes under utilisation of resources.
All right, listen, wait. Someone gets wind of a possible sale and uses Veach as a front man to invest for him. Who? Civil servant? They don't have real money, do they?
Well, it depends. What's real money? You start betting your capital on a dead cert and it keeps growing.
He watches till he sees a package in the pipeline.
Either that or he goes to an operator like Dougie Allen and he says, how's about shoving a package through the pipeline? So maybe got something on him.
Brilliant.
Oi, Tom! Hello!
Sweet spring.